Good morning. We are going to be working on making our sloppy copy by using yesterday's writing organizer. I have mine right here, and you can see that it says Thanksgiving break in the middle, and it has some of the activities that I did on Thanksgiving. Today, as we make our sloppy copy, I really want you to focus on making full sentences and making sure to use the COPS strategy. And COPS we talked about yesterday was C means capitalization, O means organized, and P means that there's punctuation, and S means that it has the spaces that it needs. So make sure that your words have spaces in between them, just little pinky spaces. So let's go ahead and get started. I always need a topic sentence, and since we're talking about things we did during Thanksgiving break, the topic sentence should let the reader know that. We have to let the reader know that this is going to be about Thanksgiving break. So we could do something like, I did many things over Thanksgiving. Remember, I'm capitalizing Thanksgiving because it's the name of a holiday. Break. And then I can go ahead and start making my sentences. Now, before I start making some of my other sentences, my details, I'm going to try to use some words that are used when you have a narrative. A narrative is when you tell a story about yourself. Now, I want you to kind of choose between your little small moments here and kind of think, okay, well, what order did they happen in? And now maybe you did each of them each day, but at least I want you to think about a few, or maybe at least one that you did first. So I think the first thing I did, the first thing I did was I definitely relaxed. So I'm going to put the word first right by there, F-I-R-S-T, just to remind myself that I did that first. And then I'm going to think about something that I did maybe every day. I'm going to choose something I did every day, and I have eat a meal with my family. I didn't do that every day, but I did that on Thanksgiving Day. So maybe I'm going to put that. So I'm just going to write Thanksgiving Day. So now I'm organizing my ideas before I write them. I want to organize them and make little notes on here to remind myself how I'm going to write it. So I have first, I relaxed. On Thanksgiving Day, I ate a meal with my family. And then I have, this one says, I went on hikes with my wife. And I didn't do that every day, but I did that on some days. And I can put that on some days. So now, if you look closely, it says, let's see, can I get close enough? On some days. And I kind of wrote that sloppy, but it's okay. It's just my writing organizer. And this is my sloppy copy. And then I have exercise. And that I did do each day. So I'm going to put the word every day there. So now I'm ready to really write my details because I wrote about some things that kind of let you know whether I did them every day, whether I did them first. And I did put a first there. So I'm going to start with that. So if I'm going to write the word first, I have to make sure it's capitalized because every sentence begins with a capital letter. First. And you put a comma there because there's a pause there, but the sentence is not over. First, I relaxed. Period. So that's a really short sentence. But maybe my next one will be a little longer. I'm going to go to on some days. So on some days, comma, I want to pause there, but I don't want the sentence to be over. On some days, I exercised. Now, I'm going to want you to make sure that you dig in a little deeper. Take out your magnifying glass and look into the idea and really try to find some more details. On some days, I exercised at the YMCA, and that's the name of the place I go, and it's spelled with all capitals. Then my next one, so actually I finished this one. I might check it off, and I finished this one, so I can check that off. And now I'm ready to do these last two. Ooh, and I made a mistake there, and that's okay. It's my sloppy copy. So Since I made a mistake and it's my sloppy copy, I could just cross it out, or I could go ahead and erase it. So I'm going to erase it because I meant to put a different detail there. I meant to put hikes with my wife, so I better fix it. On some days, I hiked with my wife. And I still want to zoom in with that magnifying glass and say, okay, hiked with my wife at the Metro Parks. So now I have the detail about where I went hiking. And then I'm ready to do everyday exercise, because that is true. Every day, comma, I exercised at the YMCA. So now I have, most of my details are done. Now I'm ready for this last one about Thanksgiving Day. And I only ate a meal with my whole family on Thanksgiving Day. So that's what I'm going to put. On Thanksgiving Day, I ate with my family. So now I have all of my sentence except for one. I don't have my closing sentence. So every piece of writing, when you write a nice paragraph like this, or you write a narrative like we're doing, you want to have a closing sentence that kind of ties it all up. So the last one, I'm going to scoot it back a little bit. I'm going to put a sentence that says the same thing as my topic sentence, but in a different way. This says, I did many things over Thanksgiving break. I could say, I did some things over Thanksgiving break. I could say, Thanksgiving break was busy. I could say, I love Thanksgiving break. I could say, I really like Thanksgiving break. I'm going to put Thanksgiving break was awesome. So now I have my closing sentence, and I'm ready to, and then I'll be ready for the next part. And that's I'm going to zoom this in just a little bit so you can see the whole thing. All right, so now I have all my sentences, and you can see that I have words like first, that lets you know when I did that. On some days I did this. Every day I did that. And on Thanksgiving Day, I did that last thing. So I really have all my sentences written, and then when you're done with that, that's your sloppy copy. When you're completely done, you can put your sloppy copy with your pre-writing organizer, and then bring it to me, and we're going to staple it together, and then tomorrow we're going to really start kind of editing it and looking at how we can fix it if it needs to be fixed, and how we can make it better. So you may go ahead and get started. There's writing paper in the Froggy bin, so you can put away your iPad and get started.